What's up, everyone? It is your girl, your diva in knowledge, Lady Mocha, representing Mocha's Cafe de Paris, where you know I'm always serving you the best recipes in wisdom, knowledge, and spiritual awareness. What's good, everyone? Hope everybody had a wonderful Mother's Day, and same to all my single fathers out there who have had to wear the hats of being a mother and a father. Big ups to you as well, because there's not enough men in the black community that are single fathers that get the recognition and the appreciation that they so truly deserve. So again, happy belated Mother's Day to everyone out there. So I thought it was very imperative tonight that I did a particular recipe, because this recipe to me is very, very important that is brought to those of us in the black community who don't want to keep hibernating. It's a lot of us as black men and black women. We're sleeping. We're not trying to be woke to what's really going on in the masses. And if you lack knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, you will easily fall into the entrapment of the fuckery that is the newest game in the YouTube streets. And I must say that the YouTube streets have been grimy for quite some time. And it's one of those unfortunate things. I don't think it's going to get any better. I think it's going to continue to get worse, especially with the black sectors in the black community. And this goes for black men and black women. I'm not singling a specific panel. I'm not singling a specific man or woman. It's just too much negative energy in the YouTube streets. So with that being said, I thought it was imperative that I did my particular topic today, which I call Pain is the Biggest Profit. The reason that I state that is because, first of all, you have to be a man and a woman that's blessed with wisdom and knowledge. And the reason it's important that you are blessed with these two entities is because you will be deceived, you will be manipulated, you will basically be taken advantage of in these YouTube streets if you're hibernating and you're not woke to what's really going on. And you have to be wise. It's different between having wisdom and being a smart ass. Being a smart ass meaning you're too smart for your own good. And wisdom is basically a certain type of knowledge that is beyond the average human being's understanding. Like, in other words, some people, the majority of people, they think above the surface, but when you have wisdom and you have knowledge and understanding, you will look at things beneath the surface, below the surface, meaning you do surgery. You just can't be manipulated. You're not manipulated by the things that are obvious or things that stand out the most that you can visibly see, but you can look within the outside exterior, and you can still be smart enough to detect what's internally going on. And that is the purpose of me doing this content, because I want black men and black women to be woke as to what's really going on in the YouTube streets out there. So now back to my content at hand. This was very dear to me due to the fact that when Louis Farrakhan was taken off of the YouTube streets, I found it very disheartening, because this brother, this man, shared a lot of knowledge that the black community is so severely in need of. He was serving a lot of spiritual food that black men and black women needed to definitely digest. And I was really, really disappointed when they took away somebody that would have been an asset to the black community, because he was serving wisdom and knowledge. And it's a lot of black men and black women, they are malnutrition in knowledge. They're starving, they're empty, they lack knowledge, they lack wisdom, and they lack understanding. So when his videos and his content was removed off of the YouTube streets, I pretty much began to look deeper into the situation, and I noticed that it was very ironic that they would remove Louis Farrakhan his content off of the YouTube streets. However, I'm noticing there's still a lot of garbage in the YouTube streets. Farrakhan, I'm hoping I pronounced his name correctly. There's a lot of garbage in the YouTube streets that YouTube would not dispose of, would not discard of. And I notice anything that is negative, unless it's something that's really been brought to YouTube's attention to the point that the content has been so explicit or beyond degrading, that if that content gets enough of flags or red flags, now YouTube has to do something about it. That is the only way they're going to remove this garbage, that's this YouTube pollution that is going on amongst black women and black men within the YouTube street. All of the disrespecting, the black men disrespecting the black women, and the black women disrespecting the black men. It's a lot of black and anti-black pollution. It's a lot of YouTube pollution that's going on in the YouTube streets amongst black men and black women. And like I stated, half of this garbage that's being displayed, YouTube would not really remove this type of content, but unless it's really brought to their attention. But for the most part, if you look, I find it very ironic that how is Louis Farrakhan, all of his content that had wisdom and knowledge, the ingredients that black men and black women need, how is it that type of material is removed from the YouTube streets, but we have these other YouTube content creators, these other black men that are not feeding the black community real wisdom and real knowledge? And the same thing, there's black women that are not feeding the black community real wisdom and real knowledge. All I am seeing, I'm not really seeing too much of wisdom or knowledge that is being produced from black content creators. But what I am seeing is a lot of negative, chaos, drama-driven content. And yet, YouTube will allow these types of content to still be accessible. And I realize the reason for it is because we are in a world where anything that is programmed, to destroy the black community, that will help to dismantle the black community. I noticed that anything that is toxic to the black community, very rarely are other races going to rid of it. They're not going to get rid of it. No different than all of these other races that make a profit off of the black communities by having a liquor store on every block, by having a fried chicken on every block, and fried chicken joint on every block. Basically, they're profiting off of giving us things that are not healthy, that are made to destroy us, to not build us. And I realized that is what's going on in the YouTube sector. After, speaking with my mom, and she kind of opened my mind to a lot of to this content, and it made me realize I understand why YouTube would not get rid of the negative pollution in the black YouTube streets, because they love to see how we destroy one another. And I'm not saying everybody in YouTube is like that, but the truth of the matter is, let's be honest, anything that has to do with black men and black women tearing each other down, is not too many people that's going to step in and intervene and say enough is enough. And especially if they see that we are not doing it as black men and black women, we're not playing referee, and black men are not telling other black men, no, we're not going to disrespect black women, even though we disagree with the fuckery, we disagree with what they do or don't do. We're not going to support that. Because when black women look bad, sooner or later, it's going to reflect on us, or vice versa. And in many cases, I know a lot of black men are saying, how the hell is that going to reflect on us? The truth of the matter is, as long as you're black, whether you're a black man or a black woman, we still going to have the same common struggles. Y'all struggles, black men's struggles, are no more different from black women's struggles and vice versa. We still have to make a name for ourselves to survive in this world. We still have to jump hurdles to make it in this world, because let's face it, there's still a lot of racism that still exists. So the fact that we are so prejudiced against one another, that already gives other races a bigger advantage and allowing us to continue to keep dismantling and destroying and sabotaging one another. So this is the reason why when it's positive black men like Louis Farrakhan that does positive content, they will unplug his message from the YouTube streets, but they will allow this pollution, this black YouTube pollution, to continue to still be, still have channels and platforms. They will allow these things to continue because, again, they love to see anything that is going to display black men and black women destroying one another and sabotaging one another. No different than Willie D, which is one of the black men who has a content who I truly respect. I admire him and his content because he's so manly. He's very masculine. He's not a yeller. He's not a screamer. And you can tell he means what he says and he says what he means. And I don't know about the other ladies out there. I love a masculine man who can shut you down, honey, without even screaming and yelling at you and calling you names, honey. Let me tell you something. A real woman, she can't even come up against a man that is masculine, that's not going to allow her to take him out of his character. And I love men like Willie D. And it's a couple of brothers out there who I see who, they just don't carry themselves in a manner that a lot of these brothers are doing in these YouTube streets. They're just not on that level. And I'm glad there are some men that not just preach masculinity, but they stand for it and they represent it. And Willie D is definitely one. He has his own channel. I am a subscriber of his. He was in a group, Ghetto Boys. My mind playing tricks on me for all of y'all who remember that old school hip hop. And the majority of his content is very on point. He gives a lot of wisdom and a lot of knowledge. I can sit there and listen to him talk all day because his voice is so refreshing, and he doesn't act ignorant. He doesn't talk ignorant. I love his tone. I love the tone of his voice, that he's cool, calm, collective. I just find it fascinating to see a black man be so masculine with his tone and with his delivery. And I just find it very appealing. And let me get off of that because I'm going too deep. I'm married. Let me get off of that. But with Willie D, he's like he's really prophetic in a sense, like Louis Farrakhan, and because he had an opinion about something, and he's always had opinions about something, and the majority of his content has never been offensive. I've never heard him call women bees, hoes, none of that. He has shut black men and black women down. He tells it like it is. He's not a sexist. He's not a male chauvinist, but at the same time, he's not a feminist dude where he's so, where he's so pro-feminist, where he will black women fuckery up, as well. He's so balanced and he's so mature, and that to me, that's just a plus. I would pay anything to be in the presence of a man of his character. But YouTube tried to shut him down. Well, actually, they did get him shut down, and he had to fight and get a lawyer, and it's a lot of strings he had to pull, and he was able to get his channel back. But the sad part is, what about some of these black men and black women who are trying to feed the black community with positive wisdom and knowledge, and they get shut down, and they don't have the money, they don't have the fees, they don't have the connections to get get their channels or their platforms reinstated. What about them? You know, and he was one of the few that was able to redeem himself. And I'm sure Louis Farrakhan, he has the money, and maybe he may fight for it, or maybe he's one of those men, he have a lot of dignity. He may not feel the need to even have to, you know, run after YouTube and try to you know, fight to still have his messages put out there, because he's very manly. So he's also probably don't feel the need to take it to that level, because his thing is, I'm gonna be heard regardless of what, and YouTube is not going to stop me from being able to deliver my message to the black community. So I know he's very righteous in what he does, and very strong minded in what he does. So I can understand if he doesn't even try to combat YouTube or whatever. But Willie D, he did, and fortunately he stood his ground. But the sad part was really unsettling to me is that no, YouTube is not going after the garbage. They're not going after the black men and the black women that are being disrespectful, that are really doing very explicit content that's disrespectful, degrading. They're not trying to target these channels, because again, they love to see the fuckery amongst black men and black women. They love to see us make clowns out of ourselves. They love to see us clown each other. They have a parade with that, and unfortunately, it's unfortunate that black men and black women are not wise enough to read in between the lines and not realize that when we get together and we do all of these panels and we bash each other, but y'all don't call it bashing, y'all call it truth. No, truth is, I've seen Louis Farrakhan tell the truth, and I've never heard him say degrading names or call a woman out her name. I've never heard it. I've never even heard the word hood rat out of his mouth. I've never heard of it. I've known many black men like Martin Luther King and Malcolm X that have been men that have been very strong in their delivery and very strong in their message, and they never had to use degrading words. And guess what? To this day, the message that they left, it still touches us. It still affects us. I can listen to Martin Luther King speeches now, and it marinates, it penetrates to my soul and my spirit, because it's not always what you say, and it's how you say it, and it's your delivery. And to this day, you know, the man has been dead and gone for years, but his message is so strong that it still brings tears to your eyes. If you listen to it right now, it's almost like Martin Luther King is right there in the living room and speaking to you. Same thing, you know, with these other black male icons, these legends, you know, like Malcolm X, and it's a lot of them out there. You know, I don't want to give y'all a whole history book, but basically that's what I'm saying. I just find it very ironic that YouTube is allowing too much of this pro-black pollution to keep spreading like cancer in the YouTube streets among black men and black women. Is very sickening, and I'm so tired of it. I wish YouTube would start placing more stricter emphasis on the things that people are saying, and you know, and placing some type of rules or some type of policy, because it's getting out of hand. And I think as black men and black women, we are abusing the freedom of speech privilege. We're abusing it. It seems like a lot of us have been condemned in our own way for so long. If you're a black man, you have been condemned in one form or another. As a black woman, you have been condemned in some form or another. So now that we have been blessed with the privilege to have platforms, we've been blessed with the privilege to have a voice, things we have today that our ancestors had to fight for, that our ancestors had to get beat up for, had to get spit on for. Our ancestors didn't have a voice during the civil rights movement. They used it, but they paid the price. And it seems like now that black men and black women have a voice, we just done lost our goddamn mind. We don't care what we say. We don't care how we say it. We have no filter. You have black women that think it's acceptable to get loud and be rude and be disrespectful and call black men all type of degrading and insulting names, and then it's the black men that are doing it, who got mothers, who got daughters, but in their minds they don't see their black women in their families or their black wives, they don't see them the same way. So if they call another black woman a bitch or a hoe, okay, I'm telling you, you won, even though I got a sister and a mother that's black. In their minds, one doesn't have anything to do with the other, but it's still an insult, because what these black men don't understand, just like you think that way, is other black men that think that way. And all it takes for them is to run across your wife in a grocery store, and your wife missing, you know, skipped the line and didn't know he was standing there, and oh, you the typical black bitch, oh, you disrespectful, you just like the rest of these black hoes out here, blah 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 blah. Because for every beast there's a bigger beast. So you have to realize the same energy that you put out there, somebody could utilize that against somebody who you love, who you respect. Be careful, because you reap what you sow. Karma has a way of coming back to you. If it doesn't come to you, it'll come through someone you love. It's men out there who despise black women more than you could to the second power, and can come across your black daughter, come across and have an encounter with your black mother and disrespect your black mother and black daughter, because you know, you have to be careful. Same thing with black women. You got you know, black daughters out there, or you got black sons out there, you talking bad about black men. How would you feel if you had a son, if there was another black woman who talked badly about your black son and called him the N-word just based on the color of his skin? And even though you share these same views and you share these same philosophies, will other black women in the YouTube streets realize there's another black woman that's going to be judgmental of your black son, and will also label him and disrespect him just because he's a black man, just like you're doing? It's very funny how we don't see anything wrong with how we disrespect folks, or how we come out our mouth until somebody does it to somebody we love. It happens to our daughter, it happens to our sons, it happens to our mother, it happens to our fathers. So be careful what you put out there in the universe. So back to this subject at hand, like I stated, I'm starting to notice the YouTube streets is cleaning out all the positive energy, and they're allowing the garbage to still sit on the side of the curb. YouTube has not collected the garbage that's still sitting on the curb. They keep riding past it, keep walking past it, and things that's not even worth throwing away, those are the things they're bothering. You know what I mean? For instance, I live in Savannah, so of course we have a strict city ordinance here. And we're not allowed to have all kind of trash in our yard, and you know, they'll fine you, they'll give you a fee and stuff like that. Well, there was this one particular house in my same neighborhood that was not kept up well. This lady had several dogs that was leaving poop all in the yard, and I mean, she was breaking every city ordinance that you could think of, and nobody hounded this chick, nobody hardly bothered her, okay? And I'm like, as much as they come around here, when are they going to say something to this chick? Because that's hazardous to the community. My nostrils cannot take the smell of dog maneuver, you know. And it was like she was running a damn doggy day count, and it was just disgusting. I'm so glad she ended up moving or whatever. But anyway, and one day, the city of Savannah ordinance advisor, supervisor, whatever, he walks past her house, and he wants to address me, and he wasn't rude and nasty, but he wanted to address me about the 2-3 tires that was in my yard. And I'm like, okay. And he tells me, you know, that's hazardous. You can't have, you know, tires in your yard and this and that. And I'm like, okay, I get it. You know, the tires wasn't even in the yard a good month. But I'm like, while you're focusing on tires that's not pooping and not pissing all over the place, why are you not concerned about the lady who has the 8-9 dogs and she's letting them poop all on the street? You know, y'all not getting behind her, you know, and after her about her trash or her yard, you know, because when you have a bunch of dogs and stuff, they caused a lot of debris to be in your yard. It was trash, cups, paper cups all in her yard. It just looked terrible. And they wouldn't say anything to her about it. And I'm like, the same way the YouTube streets work. Y'all got time. It amazes me that sometimes YouTube has a time to follow up the pettiness of people that's reporting or saying something about those in the black YouTube streets that are doing something positive, because commendable, something that will be an asset to the black community. YouTube is quick to address it, flag it, and get rid of it. But I cannot understand how the majority of these black men and black women who have these platforms that have been saying degrading and disrespectful things to one another about one another for years, y'all let that slide. They let it slide. I don't understand it. It's just really backwards, okay? So anyhow, that's another point. The second point I wanted to make is what a lot of us as subscribers have to realize is that you have to be woke to what's really going on in the YouTube streets. Just like the real streets don't have no love for you, guess what? The YouTube streets don't have no love for you. Just like rest in peace to Nipsey Hussle, a black man who was trying to do something positive. No, wasn't trying, was doing something positive in the black streets. Owned a plaza, you know, had his clothing shop, I mean, doing positive things, not selling drugs, not slinging rocks, not that I know of. I don't know his personal life or whatever like that. But for the most part, we knew he was doing something positive. And when it all boiled down to it, his own kind, you know, when his own, I don't know if they was friends. I heard they was friends. You know, I don't want to go too deep into it. I'm just using that as an example out of respect for him and his family. But allegedly, this person, he knew they had a history, whatever the case was. He was the main one who brought him down. The moment this man was making big boss moves and was doing something positive, unfortunately, I've seen it too often. Black men, black people in general, who try to create a positive movement, they are usually the ones that become the victim of the movement they support. I see it a lot. We had a gentleman here by the name, I think his name was Don Trey. I can't remember his name off the back, but he was a big advocate on black against black crime. And I remembered every time somebody got murdered, or every time another black person murdered or shot another black person, he was the main one that was holding the rallies. He was initiating the rallies. He was initiating the visuals. He always was on his intercom like Joe Clark from Lean On Me. And he had got a lot of love in the streets of Savannah for that. Just you know, being an advocate against black crime. And he was well known for that. Well, as always, those who try to stop the cause of violence, they end up falling prey to the cause of violence they try to avoid. And that is what happened. He was robbed and he was murdered, and for no reason, by some young black thugs and thugettes. I think it was like one girl and two guys or whatever. And these were the same people who murdered him, that the reason for why he initiated the Stop of Violence movement, because he did not want that generation to have to lose a sibling, a friend. He was fighting against that. And out of all people they could have stuffed out, they took his life. For what reason? I don't know. It's always been like that. And this is why black people are less motivated to want to do a stop the violence movement for their black community, or they don't want to do nothing positive for the black community, because they feel like the moment they try to do something positive, somebody's going to hate, somebody's going to get jealous, they're going to become the target of a hater. And it happens all the time within the black community. So, with that being stated, I forgot the point that I was making. But you know, it's unfortunate, you know, that people, that black men and black women that are for something, that are all for something positive, these are the ones that catch the most heat. And we got this garbage, we got this fuckery movement against black men and black women that is still being praised on the YouTube streets. And this is why we cannot grow forward. This is why we cannot move ahead. And it's tiresome. same thing day in and day out. Nobody has nothing edifying to talk about. Nobody's not talking about something that's going to help the black community. I mean, how long are we going to talk bad about each other in every content that we do? And sometimes they think they're doing something different because it's a different statement, but it's still about black men or still about black women. There's a female black content creator. She can do a content today saying how all black men are garbage. Then next week, she's saying, you know, how black men need to pay child support because they're deadbeats. Then a week from there, then she's talking about, well, black men, they always swirling with these trailer trash, you know, white chicks. It's going to always still be fuckery. And it's not going to be nothing that's going to build black women or encourage black women. But in her mindset, she thinks because she has a lot of subscribers and she has a lot of females that are patting her on her back and giving her a praise team, that the knowledge she is giving them is effective. And that is not the case. And that is the same way it is with the black men that are in YouTube. Their content day in, day out is nothing. All it is about is black women, and they think because they change the topic, they don't change the topic because the topic is going to always be black woman fuckery. So what they'll do is they'll just keep changing the content of that topic. They'll just change the ingredients. Today to be black women, it's too many single mothers. That'll be that topic for that day. Then another day, black women who are not married and can't get a man. Then the next day is black women who know they need a man but can't afford to keep one. But because this is the whole trick to it. And this is, if you are a person with wisdom and knowledge, you will read in between the lines. What is going on within the YouTube streets is that black men and black women have abused the purpose of having a platform which is meant to let you have a voice, let you have your freedom of speech. We have abused that because what it is, we have a lot of black men and a lot of black women that are broken, and we all have a lot to say. We all have something heavy in our hearts, which is the reason why we daily get on these YouTube streets, and we have to constantly voice and speak like I'm doing now. I'm voicing and speaking because it's heavy in my heart, the disrespect that black men and black women have against one another. That's heavy on my heart. This is why I am doing this. It is heavy in a black man's heart who has been abused, who has been manipulated, who has gone through hell and back with black women. It's in his heart to do content based on black woman fuckery because that is what's still eating him up like cancer to this day. He has to keep talking about it, has to keep acknowledging it because the platform of the YouTube has become his new way of therapy. But to the subscribers out there who are blind and gullible, they're looking at it like, okay, this man is really showing me love, or he's really showing me that he has compassion for brothers. It's not about that. He's feeding. He needs you to feed off of his negative energy because just like he's in pain, you're in pain also. So what it is it's an exchange of pains. It's no different than black women. If a black woman could do content about black men ain't this and they're garbage, of course it's going to be a sister out there that's broken and scorned just like her. It's going to be the broken scorned sister that's going to go to her channel, support her movement, donate to her movement, because again, it's an exchange of pain. And what's going on is the content creators are the ones that are benefiting. You subscribers not benefiting, because how are you benefiting when I'm not giving you anything to help to make you get better? I'm just giving you material that's going to make you more bitter. If I'm up here co-signing on your pain versus teaching you how to get rid of that pain, give you strategies or give you different method on how to not have to keep holding on to that pain, all I'm doing is adding cocaine to your meth. I'm just adding another drug on top of another drug that you still ain't even been able to kick yet. Okay, and that is what's going on, and that is why this content is called Pain is the Biggest Profit. It's a lot of black women and black men that are YouTube content creators. They are profiting off of the subscribers' pain. If I want black women that are bitter to support my movement, all I have to do is talk about no good black men, and I guarantee you I'm going to have sisters flocking over here like I'm giving out hair bundles and fried chicken. They're going to be flocking over here. They're going to buy my t-shirts. They're going to buy my coffee mugs. They're going to buy my CDs. They're going to support my Patreon because I am I'm investing, they're investing into me because of their pain. And that's what a lot of us as black men and black women, we're not realizing. While you're donating and you're subscribing, what it is, you're investing your pain into another content creator that is profiting off of your pain. So it's an exchange in pain, basically. It's no different, like I said, you know, being a black man. If I can't stand black women, I don't like black women. I've been burnt by child support. I've been burnt by my baby mama. I done caught hell and back from all kind of women in my life. I done been used. I done been played and taken advantage of. All I got to do is do content and express my anger towards other black women who have done this to me. Guess who's going to support it? Other black men who share my same pain. They're going to help me invest into my pain. And meanwhile, I'm going to profit off of their pain, because as long as I'm talking about the fuckery about black men, women within the YouTube streets, they're going to keep donating to me. They're going to keep subscribing to me, because at the end of the day, what black men and black women have to realize, controversy has become the new drug in the black YouTube streets. That is the new addiction. Controversy is the new cocaine, okay? And it's unfortunate that there are a lot of black male and black women content creators. They are getting high. They're getting addicted off of controversy. They're injecting it into their veins like dope fiends, because that is what makes them feel good. Just like a dope fiend got to get that high, and when they're not getting that high, what they go through is withdrawals. And we have a lot of black men and a lot of black women that are going through what's called emotional withdrawals. So what they do is they use subscribers to help inject that controversy into their veins so they can get high off of controversy. Just like a dope man, a drug dealer who knows that as long as he has dope, even though he knows that dope is killing the black community, as long as he's able to profit off of it, he don't give a damn. The dope boy don't give a damn what that dope fiend has to go through, as long as he's able to benefit off that high. The dope fiend, the drug dealer, he don't have to worry about the fact that this dope fiend is stealing from his mama to get high. He's breaking into people's stores. He's breaking into people's businesses. The drug dealer don't care what the dope fiend is doing, as long as he's buying his supply. And that is the same way the YouTube streets work. The majority of these black women that is doing this all anti-black man movement, these black men that are doing this anti-black woman movement, is not about the subscribers. They don't care about the subscribers. If you unsubscribe from them today, they're not going to call you and check on you and say, oh, I noticed you've been such a loyal subscriber. What happened? What went wrong where you decided to unsubscribe from me? Did you decide to unsubscribe from me because you were not growing? You were not learning anything? They're not going to email you and even be concerned and even keep up with where you are or why you decided to unsubscribe. You know why? Because it ain't about you. It's about your dollars. And if you don't think so, let's say you are a loyal subscriber to these men or these gentlemen, and you're their moderators, you're their super chat fans, you're always donating, you're doing all of that. If you think they really want to help you grow, I tell you what, you could test them, try them. Try them by disagreeing with them. Disagree and debate with them. I don't mean disagree and just say no. I mean really disagree and debate with them. And if it leads into an argument, watch they dispose of you. They will get rid of you. And that will go for these black men, male content creators, and black women content creators. The moment you disagree, they can't even respect as a subscriber that you have your own mind. And as content creators, we should never feel like we should have be able to have any of our subscribers' minds to the point that the moment they disagree or don't or can't relate to our views, we want to kick them off the panel or we want to get rid of them. To me, that's the fuckery in it. When you, as a YouTube content creator, you have a platform. Your platform is not all about just making people agree with you and co-sign on everything you say. You got a praise team. Yes, 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 Lord. Yes. Amen, brother. Amen, brother. Preach to the choir, brother. If that's all of what you want, and you don't have anybody that's disagreeing with your beliefs or your concepts, then how are you growing and how are you helping that subscriber to grow if they only they're going to keep basically just agreeing with your content? They don't have no questions. They don't have a different way of looking at things. That is how you grow. Even as a college student, when you go to college, if you didn't agree with a theory or you didn't agree with the way a teacher said something, and you asked that teacher to say something, and you asked that teacher to repeat it or that instructor to repeat it, Mr. So-and-so, I don't understand what you meant by that comment about the World War III, like how it came about and what all occurred through it. And that instructor has an attitude and says, well, guess what? If you didn't hear how I said it last time, then, oh, well, too bad. Bye, get out my class. How is that student going to learn? And that's why I know the majority of these black content creators, men and women, they don't have love for their subscribers, because the moment their subscribers or their guests disagree with them, they discard them, they get rid of them. And that is not how you grow. It's no different than being in a marriage. Me and my husband, we don't see eye to eye on everything. It's things he tells me from a black man's point of view that don't make no sense to me, and vice versa, but he doesn't scold me for it. He doesn't call me a stupid B, a stupid hoe, a stupid this. He'll break it down to me in different ways. He gives me different analogies where it can make sense to me. And he does it all the time, even when we have regular conversation and it doesn't make sense. He'll take something as simple as, okay, when you see that pancake, see how you have to flip a pancake so the other side could turn over and be cool and be cooked like the other side was. He'll give me simple analogies where it will make sense to me, because all of us as black men and black women, we are different learners. No matter how knowledgeable we are, no matter how intelligent we are, some of us are slow bloomers. Some of us have to be taught in more than just one way. You cannot just teach things or give knowledge on your panels in one way and one way only, and the moment that person cannot comprehend or cannot understand what you're saying, or they may need you to repeat it, you call them stupid, you call them dumb. If the school system was like that, could you only imagine how many dropouts we would have if we had real teachers that had attitudes like these black men and these black women who own these YouTube panels have, these platforms? Some of y'all just flat out disrespectful, and nobody cannot grow from you. And the thing is, nobody's not going to grow by just being a yes person. Yes, I agree. Yeah, you're right. That makes sense. And it's sad, because I see a lot of black women, when I see them go on these panels, I hear the fear in their voice when they come up against, when they're on these dominant, these man cave channels. You know, and a lot of these man cave channels, I respect a lot of them. I don't hate their content. Even when they being a little harsh, there's a lot of truth in it. And a lot of these men I respect. I respect Information Man. I respect Seven. I respect Reg. It's a lot of men I respect, but because they know, even if a woman is sounding silly and out of pocket, they don't allow a woman they don't allow a woman's feminine emotions to get them to the point to where they're acting more emotional than she is. They, you know, I've always said, when a man is a man, a woman gonna know it. He ain't got to scream, he ain't got to yell. A woman gonna know a man the moment she sees him. She's going to know it. He don't have to scream and yell at her and say, I'm the man, I run this conversation. You a man, she going to know it, because your masculinity is going to dominate that automatically without you even having to yell or scream at her. I've seen some men in these platforms, they shut a woman down by their silence. They politely have told her, you know what? I see me and you not seeing eye to eye, dear, and we're having an issue with the respect in this panel. So you have a blessed day and you take care of yourself. Click. Gracefully booted her off the panel. You know how small that makes a woman feels because she's so used to a man screaming and yelling at her. So usually she'll just do the same thing. She'll scream and yell back because it's that exchange and that feminine characteristics. But when a man does not exchange those feminine characteristics and instead he gives a woman those masculine characteristics that dominate her feminine emotions, she can't do nothing with it. I have seen men shut a woman down just by being silent and just by being polite because she's so used to guys acting Pookie and Ray Ray-ish on her and screaming and yelling and cussing her out. So she's already got her bullets in the chamber ready to cuss him out back. But because he was such a man and didn't entertain her emotional shenanigans, she felt this small. I've had one or two guys that make me feel that small by handling me like a real man, not exchanging feminine characteristics and screaming and yelling at me like we both girlfriends in the club duking it over Hennessy and some dude we both letting bang our backs out. You get what I'm saying? So with that being said, I know I'm all over the place and I'm going to get ready to wrap it up. It's just, I hate the fact that there's so many positive brothers and so many positive black women who want the best for the black community. They're not trying to profit off of people's pain. They're not trying to profit off of the bitter black woman movement. They're not trying to profit off of the black woman fuckery. They got more bigger and better effective things to address within the black community. So that way the next generation, these next group of young black men and young black women that are coming up under us are not being polluted by this YouTube fuckery pollution and garbage that is being left on the side of the curb, and YouTube is not collecting it. YouTube is not picking it up. YouTube is letting this garbage sit on the curb. I do not understand it for the life of me, but I realize that it's not in my place to address and say anything about it. I would never disrespect any of these men or any of these women who I feel are carrying themselves in this manner. That's not my job to make people have a change of heart, because I realize that some people are comfortable with being hateful. It makes them feel powerful. Some people feel empowerment by being mean and nasty and malicious. Some people, it makes them feel validated that when they're being praised for being a beast. You know, so some people love the love and the glory and the praises that they get for being, you know, the buttholes that they are. If that's not even a nice word, but you know, they're basically being praised and worshipped for their ignorance and their black fuckery, because that's what I call it. It's not a black woman fuckery. It's not a black man fuckery. It's a black fuckery, because it's black men and black women that are doing it. But on that note, I commend some of my brothers and some of my sisters on the YouTube platforms. Y'all are handling your platforms with dignity and grace. You're not with the ratchet shenanigans. You're not cussing each other out. You're not degrading each other, because let's face it, it's not just black men and black women beefing with each other. I've seen black men disrespect other black men on their panels. Okay, I've seen black women disrespect other black women on their panels. So it's not just a gender war thing. We're doing it with our own genders, because what happens is egos clash. Even if y'all all have the same common hate, it's no different. If I got myself and 3 other women on my panel, and we all got the same common cause. Let's say we all can't stand black men, and we all support that movement, and we all are all for the movement of hating black men. Sooner or later, I'm going to end up falling out with one of those sisters, because what's going to happen is eventually egos are going to clash. When we're not getting enough attention, or the black man fuckery is becoming old and it's becoming redundant, eventually something new is going to have to spark for us to get a new, different type of controversy. And that's usually what happens. Everybody that is on the same team will sooner or later, they will start clashing, because guess what? When you have too many people on the panel, everybody think they so knowledgeable. Sooner or later, that one person, even though they all they all supposed to support the same movement, sooner or later somebody's going to get big-headed. Sooner or later somebody's ego so going to get away. Somebody's estrogen or testosterone. Sooner or later somebody's ego is going to get too big for the whole panel, and sooner or later that one person that even though all of y'all was for the same cause, y'all all supported the same fuckery, sooner or later you're going to fall out. You're going to bump and clash heads because egos get in the way. Okay, something about it, when you get too many people praising one movement, somehow or another, those who support that movement, within that movement, they end up falling out. They end up bumping heads. Something happens, because I'm seeing it a lot. I'm starting to see a lot of black women that was down by nature with the women who they started the panel with, and sooner or later somebody got mad or somebody got jealous because one sister was getting more attention from the guys in the chat room compared to the others, and next thing they know, they falling out. I've seen men, all of them was real cool with each other on the panel, and then because this guy decides to change his view and say, I don't think black women are that bad, okay, they shun him, they get rid of him because he has a new change of heart, he has a new perspective, being that now he no longer sees things the way he first originally saw them when he agreed to be a part of that movement. Now that he has matured and now that he has changed his mind, he's not allowed to have his own mind. When it comes to these panels, when it comes to these movements that you support, be very careful, because the moment you will go against that movement and you want to have your own mind, they're going to call you sellout. They're going to say you're fake. You're not allowed to change your mind. So be careful who you decide to join, whatever bandwagon, whatever club you decide to get a full-time membership with, because the moment you change your mind or the moment you realize you can no longer get manipulated, they are going to revoke your black man fuckery or black female fuckery card because you no longer support the fuckery. Okay? So, on that note, everybody, I know this has been a very, very long content. I just hate the fact that as black men and black women, we are taking advantage of each other. We're profiting off each other's pain. I don't like when I see these black women doing it. A lot of these sisters I don't rock with. I go to their panel. I mean, I don't go to their panel. I go to their channel and I listen to the way they disrespect and degrade black men. And I know I'm married to a black husband. I'm not about to sit there and listen to all of that, because even though they say if it doesn't apply, you don't have to reply, but the fact that the way they generalize the statements they make, I don't think is cool. I also don't think it's cool when black men find it acceptable to just disgrace black women, and I don't take too much offense to it. I know it's not me, but it's still sad, because the bottom line is you got young people that are listening to your content, that are listening to your message. Why would you want to poison them like that? You're giving them advice based off of your own personal experiences. That's like, you know, back in my day, I've had older women tell me, you know, you don't need to get married. All black men ain't no good. All black men this. If I would have followed up behind that, I never would have got married to a black man. I never would have knew what it was like having a black husband or being in a black marriage. They would have robbed me from that immediately, and I've never would have gotten experience to that, and I would have been a bitter, older black woman just like they was at that time with me. And I would have been coaching another young black woman. You don't need to be with black men, all because I followed up behind older women who encouraged me and poisoned me to never deal with black men. So as black men and black women, just be careful who you allow into your spirit. Be careful who you allow to your ear gate. Everybody does not have your best interest. It's all about your donations. It's all about you making their channel and their brand look good, because at the end of the day, if you was to piss them off, honey, you will be discarded like an expired EPT card. Okay, so y'all, on that note, I'm going to wrap it up. Let me know what y'all think. Do y'all think it's too much black man, black woman fuckery going on in the YouTube streets? And if so, you know, I don't want you posting any names of these panels or whatever, you know, but what is your opinion? Do you think that this is becoming an ongoing problem? Do you think that will it ever end? Do you think that YouTube is intentionally allowing things like this to happen in these YouTube streets because, again, they love to see us make a mockery out of ourselves and each other? What is y'all intake? You know, because I know I'm not the only one that's feeling this way or whatever. So anyway, y'all, I'm gonna wrap it up. It is your girl, Lady Mocha. Remember, I'm gonna always pour you a cup of truth, and I'm gonna always break you off with a slice of knowledge. Y'all be blessed, and don't forget, like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell, y'all, because it'll probably be a minute before I go live for a while. So I'm going to be doing a good bit of uploading. So if you don't want to miss out, hit that notification bell. Y'all take care. Be blessed.